Good afternoon, super friends, and welcome to my birthday edition of the Sacred News and Weather. It is Wednesday, October 15th, and I'm coming to you for the first time all week, kind of by accident. I just didn't get here. I knew I wasn't going to get here on Monday. I was hoping to get here yesterday, and instead, I was doing battle with a little Chihuahua dog who refused to go pee outside in the rain. And by the time I took care of her business, it was time for me to move along and pick up my kids. So I missed you all yesterday, but today I'm coming in, first of all, with a giveaway for a one-on-one coaching session with me. Um, Last week I gave away a spot in the Unlikely Biblical Book Club, and today, in honor of my birthday, I want to give away a one-on-one session, coaching session with me. Um, I'd offer it with your favorite coach, but that would be awkward. So it's with me that you would be working with, and I just want to give you a little overview of what that might look like for you, in case you are curious. My one-on-one sessions are generally, especially in the beginning, 90 minutes long. I know that's a long time. I hate the 50-minute hour, and I like everything to feel really spacious. I like all of the story that needs to come out to be able to come out, and then I like all of the energy work that needs to be done. And so I find that it usually happens somewhere between 60 and 90 minutes. So I'm going to ask that you reserve 90 minutes for our time together. And my sessions are a little bit different for everyone, and it's based on what you need, but they're generally one part talking, um, sometimes one part guided meditation, depending upon how comfortable you are and how comfortable your system is with me basically space invadering you, coming in really close to look for energetic markers, for storylines, for things that want healing. So some people need a little bit of a guided meditation to get into that place, and other people are just very comfortable and just let me go in. But in general, there is a demarcation of, okay, we are done talking, and now I'm going to come into your energy and offer you a message and or energy work. You will know what I'm doing. I talk all the way through, and I tell you what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling. And for some people, what comes forward is just energy work, things in their system that need to be shifted. Typically use the elements. I use water, air, earth, fire, but I don't, and metal, but I don't typically use air because I don't like the way it makes people feel. To change things in your system to bring your system into balance. Sometimes a relevant past life to where you are in the present time will come forward, and I will offer you what I see there, what's coming forward, what past life is coming forward, and how it relates to where you are in the present moment. And other times I do have medium capabilities, so oftentimes a being from the other side will come forward. But what I do want you to know is that I can't necessarily call forth a being from the other side if there is nothing that is particularly relevant to the transformation that you're desiring. And so, what I tell people is, I'm not Oprah ready. My mediumship work is not performative, it's transformative. So, if you want to talk to Uncle John, and Uncle John has something relevant to where you are in the world and he wants to come forward, awesome. If you are just desiring a conversation with Uncle John because you want to know where the treasure map is, I can't guarantee that Uncle John is going to come forward. I just don't have that skill. It's generally relevant to where you are in the world and the shift that you desire. So if you are curious about a session with me, please comment below. I am going to say this now. Last time for the Biblical Book Club slot, I let you contact me in any way you knew how, and I had, I think, 7 or 8 people, I can't remember, reach out and say, "Hey, I'm interested." And this time around, I want you to come in the comments below, and I want you to tell me that you're interested in a one-on-one session, and I will put your names in a hat, or not in a hat, but I'll put it in a little spinner wheel app and choose a name this way. And I'm going to give one caveat. If you have worked with me before, I'm going to ask that you step back and let someone who hasn't worked with me before, but who would like to, come forward. So You have your instructions. Comment below. I'd like a one-on-one session. I'd like to win a one-on-one session, and I will throw your name in. I will choose this time next week. So this for my Wednesday session, I'll announce the winner. So you have a week of checking this, getting this message, and I'll put it in the description box below so that you know that it's this one that you need to watch. And I'll let people know on the socials as well that it's this one that you need to watch in order to win a spot. But I want you to comment below. Hmm. Talking a lot today, talking a lot. I haven't even started yet. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to our message for the day. And I'll give you my little preamble, which is take what resonates, leave the rest behind. So if you are seeing yourself in this message, awesome. Keep going. If you are listening and you're like, nope, not me, go ahead and leave me behind. There are plenty of messages below this one, and there are plenty more to come. You will find yourself there. These messages are timeless. So if you're listening on my birthday, awesome. I'm thrilled to have you. But if you are catching this message at the end of next week, 3 weeks from now, 6 months from now, 10 years from now, know that if you're tuning in, there's probably going to be something here for you. I'm going to take a sip of my swamp water. I've been teaching all day and talking all day, and I feel like my voice is running out. I also feel like my voice is running out because I'm a little bit tender today. Um, I'm not, to be clear, I'm not one of those like, woohoo, it's my birthday month. I'm gonna celebrate in all the ways. I'm much more of an introspective birthday person. We laughed about this in Earth and Ether this morning, that it is probably my Capricorn rising, but I'm like the old me is dying off now and the new me is being born, and I'm like Marie Kondoing the shit out of my life and holding things up from every angle and looking to see whether or not it brings me joy. And so I'm dying and it's hard, uh, but it's beautiful. And so anyway, we got a good laugh out of my Capricorn rising, I'm dying off and being reborn message today, but I'm feeling that for real. This last year of my life, my 50th year, today's my 51st birthday, was one of the most intense, transformational, beautiful, painful, excruciatingly so years of my life. I'm celebrating because I literally would not be here delivering these messages to you were it not for all of that change and transformation. I'm also like I'm one part full on gratitude and I'm also one part grief. And I'm just sitting with it as normal. And you can let me know in the comments below too if you were like a woo, it's my birthday, it's birthday month, I'm celebrating, and you're like a partier, or if you are a little more my flavor of introspective and what's coming with me and what is getting left behind. And I'm leading with that because I feel like that is actually a large part of our message today. We are in the season of fall. Maybe that's why I do this and why I'm not like, woohoo, maybe if I had a summer birthday, I would be much more festive. Um, but I am a fall birthday, and fall is the season of, dying, letting go, getting rid of that which is no longer in service to our core. And I'm feeling that deeply today. And that feels like the message that is really wanting to come forward. So I'm going to close my eyes here and just start talking. I'm going to start with that Marie Kondo issue, that's not the right word, the Marie Kondo image, that is the word I was looking for, of really holding up parts of ourselves, whether it's a storyline, a person, a behavior, a way of being, a job, a creative project, holding things up. The image was very much of that, holding things up, turning them over, looking at things from all sides to determine, does this bring me joy? But being Capricorn rising, doom and gloom, there is more to it than does this bring me joy? There is also the question, like, and it is good to ask, like, does this bring me joy? And if it does not bring me joy, then maybe it goes into the discard pile. But I feel like what wants to come forward here and what was coming through for me is Just because we're holding something up to the light, we're shining the light on all angles and all aspects, just because we're doing that, and the feeling that is coming up is not one of joy, but one of discomfort. I want you to just hesitate for a moment before throwing it on the discard pile. I feel like as part of that spiritual bypassing myth, or it's not a myth, it's actually happening, but I feel like rather than getting caught in the spiritual bypassing of, if this doesn't bring me joy, it must go, because that might be true for an article of clothing or a knickknack on your shelf or a book even. But for our soul's work and for what's in service of our soul, sometimes it's not what's bringing us joy that wants to be held up and examined. It's the very thing that is bringing us the most discomfort in the world that wants to be held up, that wants to be examined, but also it wants to come in closer to your heart space. It wants to come all the way inside to be loved. And I feel like that is a large part of what wants to come forward for us today. I feel like in this world of, and I'm going back to the rapture reading, which was a couple of weeks ago, where we know that in white Christian nationalism, there was a whole segment of our population that thought that they were going to be raptured, meaning that they were going to transcend their human bodies to go to heaven. They were going to leave the earth to go to heaven. And I feel like, while I don't think anybody tuning into this channel actually ever would believe that, though surprise me, I'm always up for a surprise. I feel like the more new agey, more like new spiritualism version of that is the, I'm going to like transcend my 3D body, transcend my humanity to live in this elevated timeline, this five-dimensional timeline, this timeline where theoretically there is no pain because I am living in alignment with my highest self. But we're being invited to remember today that it's almost always both. So we're not leaving our human selves behind to live in the 5D. We are not leaving our humanity behind to live in our divinity. We are humans here humaning, and we're messy sometimes. And our humans came here to learn and embody these soul lessons. And so sometimes the very thing, often the very thing that is causing us the most discomfort, the most instability in the world, the most instability in our hearts, in our bodies, is the very thing that is going to grow us, like truly grow our humans into being able to step into and hold the next version of ourselves. And I feel like that is the potency, that is like the brunt of our message today, is really about inviting in a little more trust in the process, inviting in a little more trust in the very relationships, the very jobs, the very creative processes that are leaving you feeling the most unstable. Those are the things that want to be brought closer to our hearts. Those are the places in us that are going to open us into more love, more self love, more of an ability to move love from us. It's also, those are the things that are expanding our consciousness. They're expanding our capacity to love. They're expanding us into the next level of our own freedom, freedom from the things that are keeping us bound to these older timelines, these more uncomfortable timelines. Do you guys hear my throat? This I feel like my throat is doing this because this is a very tender topic for me, but I also feel like so much of what is causing the instability in the collective, the feeling of Whoa, I'm not on steady ground here, and I really want to get to steady ground as fast as possible, which means I'm not going to do the work to move more deeply into the instability to find out what will make it more stable, but I'm going to go right back into that old place because at least I know it and I'm steady here, even if it's uncomfortable or miserable. What I'm seeing now is, and I apologize for my voice. I know it's because I personally really need to have a conversation with someone, but I also know that there are more people in the collective who need to have a difficult conversation right now, and that's moving through me. So I'm just demonstrating that here. I did have a voice all morning, and I suspect it's going to come back as soon as I finish this message, but we're going to go with it. Mm. Um, I'm just going to regroup for a moment. The instability in tarot is represented by the fives. Fives are change. I have been seeing the number 555 everywhere for months now, for the last 2 months. 555, change, 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 change. The numerological demonstration of this, example of this, is at the five. This is the unstable place. This is where we feel really unstable. We're on rocky ground with a partner, with a friend, with a family member, with a coworker, with a boss. We're in an unstable relationship, or we have a creative project that we're not sure is going to flourish. And so we're debating, like, do we keep pouring our energy into it or do we pull back? We're in a place where we're trying to determine, are we going to leave the system that was up for the Earth and Ether Collective today, like leaving behind systems for something more unstable so that we can live closer to our soul's truth. That's really forward in the collective as well. But we're at the fives. We're at the fives, which are instability. And what we're being invited to do is trust the instability, trust the process, go more deeply into it, pour more love, more attention, more consciousness into the very thing that's making you feel unstable, which will move us to the sixes. It will move us forward into growth, balance. The sixes are a much more stable number, 3 and 3. It's the lovers, which often involves a choice. It's the Six of Pentacles, which is balancing things out. It's the Six of Swords, moving to calm. It's the Six of Wands, which is can be egoic, but it's usually the measure of success. Did I miss one? Pentacles, Wands, Swords. Cups, the Six of Cups. Of course, I leave out the emotion, Miss Air and Earth. The emotion, Six of Cups, it is a soul bond. It is the past. It is a bond with the past. It's a soulmate. So the sixes are much more stable than the fives. But where we get tempted to go when we're feeling unstable, we're tempted to go back to the stability of the fours. We're tempted to go back to the Four of Wands. We're tempted to go back to the Four of Swords, that rest. We're tempted to go back to the Four of Cups, which is uncertainty, but it's uncertainty at a stable form. And so I just want to encourage you all to have a little more trust, to have a little more faith, to surrender into the instability, trusting that if you can surrender into it, you can move forward. We don't want you to go back. We don't want to go back. You can choose to go back and catch your breath and rest and digest and then elect to go forward again. But what we're really being invited into here is this next version of ourselves, the next timeline, moving from the instability of the five by going all the way in, basically like disseminating and turning to dust in the fives so that we can be reborn into the sixes, into this much more stable, welcoming environment where we have moved forward instead of back. And be quiet for a moment and notice my voice is very nearly back again. Spirit is wild, very wild. I'm just going to take a look at my notes to make sure I haven't missed anything. Yeah, the only thing that I wrote that I might not have mentioned is instability isn't always a sign of weakness or sickness. It's often the very sign that you're growing, and we're being invited to trust the instability and to step all the way into it so that we can move forward. And I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all. Please like and share and subscribe and tell your friends. I would really like to grow this channel. I would really like to grow my work in the world this year. I'm trying to make it my sole income. And I say SOLE and SOUL. I hope it's going to be both in this new personal new year of mine. And comment below if you want to be entered to win a one-on-one coaching session with me. All right. Bye bye. Thank you. As I knock things down, I'm very graceful today.